Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Apple Watch Series 1, the Apple Watch Series 3, and the Apple Watch Series 5. Now, I know you might be thinking like,
there's no comparison.
I mean, maybe between the 1 and the 3 and the 3 and the 5, but between the 1 and the 5, I mean, there isn't much you can say that will make the 1 sound better than the 5 whatsoever. But what I want to do in this video is not go through and tell you which one is the best, because obviously the 5 will be the best. It's the newest model, it has the best technology, so that's a no-brainer. But I want to talk to your needs and what you actually need. Before we get started, I'm going to please ask you to click on the subscribe button down below. I post a lot of tech videos and advice videos and things like that on my channel, so I really love it if you guys would subscribe down below. It would really be appreciated, and click the bell notification button to get notified every single time I upload a new video. Now let's get started. Okay, so right off the bat I'm going to tell you what I think of every single one of these watches and why I think each one is made for in 2019/2020. So just my overall thoughts of that. So the Apple Watch Series 1 is obviously the one on the lower spectrum, so it doesn't have all the features that the other Apple Watches has. It's not the best display or whatever, but just for people who want an entry-level Apple Watch, this is great. I use this Apple Watch every single day. This is my watch. This was my mom's watch, so it has kind of a crack here at the side. Very noticeable. You'll see it on the shots. But I use this Apple Watch every single day. I use it to track workouts. I always have my phone with me when I work out, so I don't have to worry about that. It's not too slow at all. It performs really well day to day, and there's actually nothing wrong with it. It just lacks a few features and sensors that might be essential to you, but it's not essential to me. Then we have the Apple Watch Series 3. Now this Apple Watch has a few more sensors and features that the Apple Watch Series 1 does not have, but this is a great Apple Watch to buy new. It's the best worth for money, and it's just a great Apple Watch overall. So yeah, if you're looking to buy a new Apple Watch, I would recommend the Series 3, whereas the Series 1 you can get for a pretty good price secondhand. They don't sell them in Apple stores anymore though, so secondhand might be your best option if you're on a budget. But yeah, Apple Watch Series 3 also secondhand or new. This is the best Apple Watch for that if you are a little short on money but just want a really good Apple Watch with all the great features. Now the Apple Watch Series 5, the newest Apple Watch there is available. It has all the sensors, all the features, all the newest gadgets. This Apple Watch is obviously for people who need every single sensor, who is very dead hard on working out, tracking workouts, doing other things. And this is also very important for people with health issues or just people who want to be very aware of their health. It has a bunch of things on here that is very helpful to have if you're really serious about all of that. So this Apple Watch, I think, is just, if you have the money, this is the best Apple Watch to get, obviously. Okay, so that was the overall summary of these 3 Apple Watches, but now I want to go in a little more depth and tell you some features that some have, that some don't, and just overall what you can expect from every single Apple Watch so you can make a great decision. Now, first I want to say, I'm not saying one is better than the other, because I know not everyone can afford the Series 5, or not everyone actually just needs all the features. So all these 3 watches have excellent features. They're all great Apple Watches. Like I said, I walk with the Series 1 on my wrist every single day. I have no problems with it. So yeah, just keep that in mind, so don't kill me. Now the Apple Watch Series 1 and the Apple Watch Series 3 both come in 38mm and 42mm sizes. When the Apple Watch Series 4 came out, they upgraded to the other sizes, which is the same for the Apple Watch Series 5. You now get 40mm and 44mm. Now, it's not the body that's bigger, it's just the display. It has smaller bezels. Now, the Apple Watch Series 1 and 3 do have quite hefty bezels, whereas the Series 5 really has a great display. It blends into the sides. It's not big bezels at all, and the display is just beautiful. Now the reason I say the Apple Watch Series 5's display is more beautiful and just better overall, the Apple Watch Series 1 has an OLED Retina display. The Series 3 has the second generation of that OLED Retina display, so there's not that big of a difference, but it's still a good screen display. But the Series 5 has an always-on Retina display, and it's just so much brighter and more beautiful, as you can see in these shots. Like I said, it's very difficult to see. You need to look very closely, but in person, it's really a big difference. The brightness on the Series 1 compared to the Series 5 is insane. You really see a big difference there. So yeah, display The Series 3, Series 1, not the big difference between the Series 5. If you look at that, it's just gorgeous, especially with those small bezels. Now, what you might have heard me mention is the always on display. Now, that's probably the biggest win for the Apple Watch Series 5. I mean, it's just beautiful. The always on display is really a game changer. It looks beautiful on the watch. You can always see time no matter in what position. You don't need to do that awkward flip that you need to do every single time, especially if you're trying to be discreet and you don't want to offend someone that you're with. This could be really a lifesaver. So yeah, Apple Watch Series 5's display is just amazing. The always on, the brightness, everything is just great about it. But now let's go back to the Series 1 and Series 3. So the Series 1 and the Series 3, the bezels look pretty much the same. If you look at them side by side, there's not that big of a difference. I can clearly see a brightness increase in the Series 3 compared to the Series 1. So that is something that you might want to keep in mind with. But yeah, overall, the displays are pretty much the same. Like the bezels, they're quite big, they're quite hefty, but they're not like insane though. They're just normal bezels. That's like with the iPhone 7s and 8s, those kinds of bezels. You have those on these older model of Apple Watches, but they're still great Apple Watches. I'm not gonna neglect one because of its bezel, especially since it's still jam-packed with a lot of features. Now let's talk about storage. Now this is not something I think you're gonna be super worried about on your Apple Watch, since it's not like a main device for storing things or anything. But I guess depending on what kind of you do on your Apple Watch, if you track runs a lot, if you have a lot of info, this could get more important. So the Apple Watch Series 1 comes in 8 GB of storage, but an important distinction you need to make between the 1 and the 3 and the 5. The Apple Watch 3 and 5 have the option of GPS or GPS and cellular. The Series 1 does not have GPS or cellular. This is a big thing that might determine which Apple Watch you're gonna buy. Now, if you go with the cellular, that will increase your cost, but it will also give you a lot of more features. Now, GPS means you can track your workouts and things without having your phone with you, which is a big thing if you're a very serious like jogger or things like that and you want to carry your phone around with you. Tracking workouts is really easy. And if you want cellular, that just makes it a lot easier to get notifications and reply to messages and things when you don't have your phone nearby. This could also be helpful again for people who work out a lot and have to like maybe jog long distances without their phone. If you're in an emergency, you can still contact someone using the cellular option on your Apple Watch, but this option on the Series 3 and Series 5, the cellular, is not available in all countries. For instance, here in South Africa, you only get the GPS, but in places like the United States, obviously, you do get the option of cellular as well, depending if the carrier of your phone supports it. Now, the reason I'm talking about this now when I'm talking about storage is because if you have the Apple Watch Series 3 or 5, the Series 3 comes in 8 GB of storage, but if you have the cellular option, you're gonna have to get a bigger size of storage. The Series 5's basis of storage is 32 GB, so you have a lot of more storage on the Series 5. Also, this is because of the more features and things, and the more features, the more data is stored on your Apple Watch. Another thing that's very important depending on what you use your Apple Watch for and what activities you do during the day with your Apple Watch is the water resistance. Now, the Apple Watch Series 1 is in a very bad advantage point in this area. It's only splash resistant, so there's no swimming with it whatsoever, and you just need to be careful around water. So say doing dishes, take it off, it's very important. And then with the Series 3 and 5, they're both water resistant with up to 50 meters. Now, the Series 5 does have better water resistance though, so that's also very important. But yeah, so that's just a big thing. So if you're someone who's a swimmer, with the Series 3 and 5, you can do that, but Series 1, definitely not. That's a no-no in all areas, so just, yeah, that's a big thing that can determine whether or not this is the right watch for you. All 3 Apple Watches come with a digital crown, you know, that thing at the side. Now, depending on if you have a cellular or GPS with the Series 3, you'll get maybe like a red dot on there or not. Like I said, those are not available in South Africa. So yeah, they all 3 have digital crowns, the main thing you use to navigate through your Apple Watch. But a big thing is with the Series 5, you get haptic feedback in your digital crown, and you also have an ECG sensor in there. So this is again very important for people who have medical conditions. Talking about medical things, all three of these watches come with optical heart rate sensors. Now the Series 1 and Series 3 just have the optical heart rate sensor, and the Series 5 has the 2nd gen optical heart rate sensor, which just means it performs better and is more accurate. So that is also something you need to keep in mind. On the Series 5 also you have fall detection, so I think this is also very important. So that means if you take a fall, then it will immediately contact, if you can't respond, a medical service or something of the sort. So that is just very important. I think a lot with older people, I'm not trying to discriminate or anything, but it is just a known fact that older people are all more likely to fall and not get up. So that is something I think that's very important. So yeah, they also have a fall detector on the Series 5, which I think can really save a life. So that's just another thing that's maybe very important, especially if you're maybe buying this for a relative as well. This could be a lifesaver. With the Series 5, you also get a compass, which the other ones don't. When I watched the keynote, I was like, what? Why? Like the simple thing of a compass is something that the Series 1 and 3 does not have, but the Series 5 does. So if you're someone who goes hiking or just needs a compass a lot when hiking or things like that, you have that on the Series 5. All three of these watches do come with watchOS 6, which is Apple's newest software for the Apple Watches. And the Series 1 was a bit later to get this update, but that's just because it's an older model. Some features it doesn't have, where the Series 3 and 5 does. Same with the Series 3, it does some features, or it lacks in some features that the Apple Watch Series 5 does not. So that's just something you might want to keep in mind if you want to do more research about that. The Apple Watch Series 5 also has a noise measuring app, so you can measure whether a noise is very harmful for your ears or not, which I think is weird, but it's also like, it's a cool idea, I guess. So yeah, that's something that the Apple Watch Series 5 also does have, which means my mother has a reason to tell me to put the sound on the TV softer. You all know what I mean. Now for the performance of the Apple Watches. Now this is obviously the thing that's probably the biggest distinction between all of these, and probably the biggest deciding factor. So the chipsets in these Apple Watches are obviously different. So the Apple Watch Series 1 comes with the S1P chip, and it has no wireless chip since it does not have GPS or anything. So yeah, I've never really had a problem with speed ever on my Apple Watch, or ever gotten frustrated with it at all. So I've never really had a problem with speed on the Series 1. So yeah, that's the chip in the Series 1. The Series 3 has the S3 chip with a W2 chip. So that's the wireless chip that enables like GPS and things like that. And then the Apple Watch Series 5 comes with the S5 chip and a W3 chip. So yeah, that just means it's gonna be way faster, way better. The chip is just so much better, and it will just perform so much better. And it's obviously the thing that enables it to have so many more sensors and things that just improves it a lot. So I also did a speed test to see which Apple Watch performs the best. I lay out all the apps in the same order. I went into each app in the same order, and there were no background apps in any one of these open. So this was a very fair comparison. So there was no cheating or giving one the benefit of the doubt or anything. So everything was the same conditions. The apps were laid out the same and everything. So the Apple Watch Series 1 finished in 12 seconds and 5 milliseconds, I guess. The Apple Watch Series 3 finished in 11 seconds and 55 milliseconds, and the Apple Watch Series 5 finished in 10 seconds and 60 milliseconds. So as you can see, there really isn't such a big difference between the three in speed, but there is some differences. So yeah, those are basically the biggest differences between the Apple Watches. Now I know all of these things I've said are pretty broad and they're not like straight to the point. That's just because I know you're not your average user like me, don't really care about all those, like the exact chipset, the exact gigahertz of this chipset, things like that. I know that doesn't matter to everyone, and this is just an overall of what each one can give you. Now obviously all these look very better towards the Series 5, but like I said, it depends on your needs and your budget obviously. So yeah, those are just some things that I want to clear up, so you know that I still like all three of these. It's just, it depends on what you need and the things it will benefit for you. So hope this video was helpful and you did enjoy this. Give this video a thumbs up. It really does help. And comment down below letting me know any other questions you might have for me, or just what your thoughts are on every one of these Apple Watches. Definitely subscribe, like I said in the beginning. It really does help, and I really love how we are growing as a community, so definitely click on the subscribe button. Click on the playlist to see all of my tech related videos. I have other reviews and things like this, and click on the video to my previously uploaded video. Love you guys so much. Be weird and be proud of it. Bye.